Ceremonies are such a joy, aren't they? From the traditional wedding to the white wedding, and there's also the court. And we know that different religions have different procedures, and the final outcomes are just that the couple tie the knot and they are together for the rest of their lives. Of course, we can't forget the proposal itself. You know, it's a thing of joy when somebody tells you, I want to take you to be my partner for the rest of my life. It's a big deal. But way back, many years ago, when a wedding was being prepared for, was being planned for, when the planning was set in motion, we had family and friends travel from different parts of Nigeria to come to the place where it will take place. You could see that aunties and uncles, cousins, friends will start to converge on the location, perhaps like a month or 2 weeks before the final wedding ceremony. The reason why they did that was to help to prepare the couple. They were involved in making of the dresses. They were involved in sending out the invitations. They were involved in arranging and setting the location, the interior decoration, the dress of the bride, the ashwebi selling, getting the money, getting the souvenirs. It was a family affair. Not so these days. Over time, events have become very big business for event planners and all the vendors that come right after, such that we now say we have a thriving wedding industry in Nigeria. And of course, if it's interesting, if it has great impact, if it's positive, if it will make us learn more about who we are and how we can even get better, we bring it to the fore here on Weekend Deal. And that's how we welcome you. Please be a part of the program today. My name is Thelma Obaz. Weekend Deal. Nigeria's wedding industry is thriving and is gaining rapt attention, and there's so much that comes under it. It may take off with the event planner, but oftentimes they are hardly working alone. And Ijoma Ona sets the tone for our conversation, and we get to hear it from the horse's mouth, literally. Olawumi Heavens guide us in this background feature.
Weddings are one remarkable event many couples look out for in their love adventure. Be it English or traditional wedding, this event has become an integral part of our social life and culture that authenticates the legality of any union between a man and a woman.
When it comes to weddings, you realize that most girls have been dreaming about it. Hence, it's a huge industry, and of course, it's an integral part where you feel like it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. So weddings are beautiful. Weddings are a dream come true. It's very important for people to come together. That's what marriage was made for. A man and a woman coming together to build a family. The society is actually built on that. The society will not be stable if you can affect people when it comes to the marriage or the level of commitment.
Nigerian Constitution recognizes two marriages, statutory and customary marriage. But as the society continues to evolve and cultures continue to intersect with each other, we are now witnessing rapid changes in the way and manner people engage in marriage ceremonies, especially the English weddings.
It's a norm to get married. Of course, it could be traditional weddings, we have the court weddings, we have the church weddings, now there are various types of weddings. But people are increasingly becoming more creative. So over time, things have really changed. Whether it's a trend of what you wear, whether it's a trend of how much you spend, whether it's a trend of where you can get married, how the wedding is done, the timing of the wedding, what can be involved, what you can imagine and put there. The fact that wedding planners are now the in thing has totally changed.
The wedding industry in Nigeria has grown from its humble beginning to become a billion-naira industry involving the services of a chain of professionals who are hired to plan and manage the conduct of weddings.
There was a time where they didn't know wedding planners. They just knew, okay, let's the aunties come together. But now they are wedding planners. I'm an event planner, and if there are no events, we will not be working. So it's a whole industry coming up even from there. So the change is huge. And what would I say the trigger point? As I mentioned, people are becoming more creative. It's a global village. You're seeing what's happening. Before, you wouldn't have known what's happening in UK just like that, except maybe someone traveled or you went there. But now you can go online and you see what the next person did, and you're like, wow, can we replicate this in Nigeria? So a lot of factors come together.
But why and how have weddings evolved in such a dramatic way and has become such a capital-intensive endeavor?
The event planner who is working has some hours to put in. If your wedding is huge, the number of hands that I will need will be different. Which venue are you choosing? You can't go and choose a venue of about 10 million because you like the aesthetics and you expect that your budget will be 1 million. It's impossible. So you're looking at all the things like your theme, you're looking at your venue, you're looking at your choice of food. Some people have watched so much movies. There's nothing wrong in spending good money for your wedding if you can afford it. But you can't come and say, I want like a 7-course meal because I saw it in a movie. And then you say, but you want to pay 2.5 per plate. It won't work. So it depends on your choices. And it depends on the amount of people. You can't feed 3,000 people the same way you would feed 50, like during the lockdown.
And so, on Weekend Deal this Saturday, we focus on different types of marriages in Nigeria, why weddings are becoming extremely expensive, new trends in marriage ceremonies, cutting costs, and many more.
The Nigeria wedding industry is where cultures intersect, where we have billions of naira being spent. But at the end of the day, what's most important is that the love adventure is authenticated in the wedding. That's why we gather over and beyond every other thing. And there's more. We did hear Olawumi Heaven say that if you want a big wedding, if you're looking at a 7-course meal, if you long a grand entree, then be ready to come with bags of money. Let's go to Lagos Network Center, where the focus is on event planning, what guides them, the when, the where, the how, and more.
Wedding, a ceremony witnessed by relatives, friends, as well as well-wishers of two individuals who have chosen to live the rest of their lives together in a marriage. Preparing for this event in recent times have taken a different dimension, as small wedding ceremonies are gradually fading into celebrations that can be mistaken for a carnival. First, the new slogan, "No small wedding for Lagos."
Wedding is expensive because you want it to be expensive. There are some people that don't have money. They also do wedding. They will do it according to their level. They won't buy, you want a big wedding, a very classic wedding, full of flower, then the dish on the hall. That's where you see that they are dancing stage, different lights, different bulb, then this table sets, how full, the flower, the high table. There's some high table we see, they will look, wow, you say, what is this wedding or what? So all those things makes wedding very expensive.
This evolving trend in wedding preparation in Lagos has surpassed the ability of few individuals in a family setting. Hence, the need to outsource the services of a more organized group of professionals to handle the event.
The first question I'm asking you, what is your budget? What actually do you want? Some will come with their pictures. Some will come with, we will ask you for pictures, and you give them picture. But the first thing is to know the price. If I'm to collect 1 million, for my area. So, but if it's another area, I will increase it, and that's how the hall also goes. So there's a hall of 300,000. There's a hall of 1 million. All the wedding people, both birthday, anything events has their personal color. Their color based on their own, what they want or what they go through or their choice. So we don't make choice for them. They make choice of the colors.
Catering for family and friends, especially those from different ethnic groups, in a wedding ceremony can be quite challenging. However, with the services of a professional, it can be a big relief.
Probably the couple might invite me or the wedding planner herself. She might just say, I want you to cater for so people. I say, hey, where are they from? Because you must know. So you not tell me, okay, they are Yorubas, all right. So what kind of dish are you expecting? What kind of menu do you have in mind? I might tell you, okay, pounded yam for 100 people, amala for this other rice, or father rice, like that, maybe ewa going. They'll just tell you what they want. So you now go to your corner, make your bill, let them know what to take.
To spice up the event, depending on the financial capability of an individual, some hire the services of a band, or for the Yoruba folks in Lagos, the local praise singers, popularly known as Alaga.
Now we're talking of instrument of 500,000. We have the one of 350,000. Now the instrument aside, now not thinking of bringing your crew, your band boys along. Now, like in our band now, we are with myself, my wife, the manager. We're 15 in number. Before we can be able to pay the 13 with ourselves, paying for the connection fee for this and that. That's why you see some musician charges 2.5, which charges 1M, depends on how large the occasion is.
Considering the huge cost of organizing a wedding these days, is a photo shoot absolutely necessary?
They are very compulsory now. Back of the days you said it's past. Now we're in computer world. Everything, they make everything bigger. We keep on increasing. You cannot do a wedding without photo shoot. They do their banner, they use flower to decorate it. They make it more unique than then.
Indeed, wedding ceremonies in Lagos is turning into a huge industry, empowering creative individuals who have the ability to add value to an event.
They say there's no more small wedding in Lagos. Is that the general opinion? Many Nigerians are of the opinion that cut your coat according to your cloth. Yes, it's interesting, entertaining, sophisticated to be a part of what is in vogue, but don't run yourself and your family into debt. You're watching Weekend Deal. Our program is interactive. You do know that. Let's hear from you. Have you just had your wedding? Someone in your family? Did you attend one recently? What's your experience like as a guest, as a family member, or you are one of the couple, you are the groom or the bride? Share your experiences. We'd love to hear them. You're watching Weekend Deal. The thriving industry is our focus, and that's how we welcome Mrs. Amaka John Okoro to spend time with us. She's a corporate and social event planner. I'll leave her to go into detail to us exactly what that entails, but she shared with me. Share with us.
Okay, thank you for having me. Like she said, I'm Amaka John Okoro, Managing Director, Touch Global Concepts Limited. I've been into event management, corporate and social events for about 20 years.
Interesting.
And when you talk about corporate event management, it has to do with the brands, it has to do with working with companies where you do product launches, conferences, and all that. Just a few weeks ago, we concluded an international event where we had representatives from 15 ECOWAS countries in Abuja.
Bring that home to the Nigerian wedding industry.
It came out good, and then bringing it down to the Nigerian wedding industry, wedding is a lifetime thing, you know. So what we do as event planners is to help our clients achieve that goal they set out for the wedding. Now, it's actually changing because event management is getting more innovative. They are also getting more creative.
But then
like
go further. You know, many
expensive.
years ago, you know, we've talked about the extended family system here on this show. And we know that many years ago, I know when my sisters, cousins got married 2 decades ago, 15 years ago, it was a family affair.
Oh, yeah.
Now we go decorate the hall. Sisters, cousins, aunties will go there in the morning. Maybe the wedding is on Saturday.
Yeah.
From Friday morning to Friday night, you will see how we'll bring out interior decor par excellence. The food, aunties will gather at the back of the house. We'll be cooking from morning till night. We'll also shop, go to the market. So for and stuff, it's our own style, knowledge, expertise.
Yeah.
And people will contribute together to take care of the areas where the couple could not handle.
Yeah.
Who now pushed us out of the picture?
Okay,
What happened?
If you watch, people's tastes are changing.
Indeed.
The objective is also changing.
Okay.
That is not to say that those are not still happening. They are still happening. But now, since the people that can take off this stress from you, you know, we have a lot of them, professionals, that can take it off provided you can afford it.
So sometimes the whole family can't even gather again as they used to.
Yeah, because that aspect of stressing everybody in the family because your wedding,
You want to just come and
now-
enjoy.
Yeah,
You want
you
to just
can
come
now
wear
pay
their
for it.
clothes.
So
Have
what
fun.
we do for clients is just dress up.
You take the stress off them.
Don't look stressed.
But they
Walk
pay
into the
big.
hall, or you pay for it.
But they pay big. See
Yeah,
the smile.
you pay. Because the issue is, like I said, you pay for value. You pay for excellent
You're
job.
paying for something, definitely.
Yeah.
And we did hear it's a #1 billion industry.
Yeah.
I guess that's why your smile, your grin is from ear to ear. It's quite interesting. You are making more young people get interested.
Yes,
And it
yes,
interests
it
us even more so because people can now become entrepreneurs.
Definitely.
Do you train young ladies or young guys?
Oh yeah, we do. We do for those that are ready to work, because to be honest with you, event planning is not a child's play. It involves hard work. You have to be on your toes all through. It's not what you just do and you sit behind. One little mistake can mess up the entire event where you have been paid so much. So you train and keep training and keep training. Sometimes you see the young people that are ready to work, they put themselves in it. And then gradually you begin to, give them some responsibilities. You watch them, you watch them. We are doing good in terms of creating jobs.
No, indeed, you are doing good, because like I will say again and again, it's #1 billion industry.
Yeah.
But let's talk about training and retraining.
Okay.
We do know that innovation, hard work, smart work, ingenuity comes to the fore.
Yes.
What about knowledge in terms of, are there courses people can take to further better their skill or open a brighter horizon?
Okay, basically, when I started as a young youth, then I looked out for trainings. I did some online trainings. Now we have just few schools where you can go to learn. Event is, mostly when it gets to corporate, is highly technical. Sometimes what you see at the field is just about 20% of the entire process. So the technical part of the job had been done, from selection of all the colors and all of that. When you're talking about brand, you have to come up with concepts as it has to do with the brand.
So then training doesn't really help?
Yeah, it does at the first time. But then when it comes to physical learning, you then learn those physical aspects on the go.
Let me take it from there. So you can learn, but you must have something in you.
Yes.
Perhaps more than passion.
Okay, now for you to really succeed in event industry, it has to be a passion. It has to be your hobby, not just basically about the business.
Okay.
Because when
You
you
have to
see
love
some
it.
people that it is so stressful that if you just go into it for making money's sake, you fall by the wayside.
Interesting.
So you
hold that
really
thought.
need to love what you do
Hold that
for
thought.
you to go into it
Interesting.
extensively.
Our conversation will continue. We'll go to Lori. You know, I told you earlier about aunties, cousins, the female gender will be at the back making the food, cooking it. But nowadays, like you said, the event planning, the woman in charge of the food catering is taking the stress off us.
Exactly.
Let's go to Lori and see what happened over there.
Wedding ceremonies, particularly in the present days, are more expensive than any other event, perhaps because of the 3 tiers of families that are involved: the wife's family, the husband's family, and their relatives. The society prayer and expectation are also not left out of it. They are not just parties. They incur considerable costs from wedding venue, a deposit to catering services.
The cost of planning today's wedding is somehow in a high rate because of the society in which we are now and the cost of things. And the reason why it is so is that the society where we are, the bride side want to invite our own people, the groom side want to invite our own people, the groom want to invite his friend, and the bride want to invite our own friends. And some go to the extent of even renting an hotel.
Marriage, whether it is in low key or in elaborate one, it depends on the parents. It depends on their purse. And it depends on how they want it to look like. If they can afford it to go for elaborate one, fine. All well and good. They should pray to it and they have their money.
Couples looking to get married, other than their usual needs, wedding fabric and accessories to look their best, having a modern wedding that embraces a trendy, elegant style when planning. They often will include more natural wedding color schemes rather than bursting with colors. As for the decorations, tables and venue space to be more open with colors of excessive floral arrangement that embellish the environment.
I want to encourage mothers, brides' mothers to be, that they should try as much as possible to cut their coat according to their materials. It was formerly according to their sizes, but this day according to what they are having, their capability.
Our children these days, they take it too extraordinary, whereby at the end of the marriage, maybe 2 or 3 months, the marriage collapses. And who are to blame? Is it the parents or the couple? I think we parents are to blame too, because we are part of their program.
It is often said that huge amount spent on wedding is in praises and glory to Almighty God. The food and gifts to thank the guests, both the groom and the bride's families share responsibilities. The bride's family usually is responsible for the food, while that of the groom is responsible for the drink.
In a situation where two families can come together and make sure that they plan it very well. If they have a good caterer, it will take care of both families and it will cost them less instead of cooking separately.
To complement the occasion is the musical entertainment, most often a live band and cultural performance to electrify guests.
Nowadays, we have things like destination weddings. So these event planners are not only working in Nigeria for Nigerians. Yeah. Some of them have been a part of destination weddings where they've had to travel to Dubai, South Africa, and the like. But food is the business of the day for now. Yes. You can't have a wedding without food. Yeah. And since the aunties have been displaced, just tie your gilly, wear your makeup and attend, please. We are handling it. Yeah. And I know that it's not the way it used to be now. Innovation and color and vibrancy has also entered the catering style. Sure. Tell us what's happening.
Okay, for the food aspect of the event, just as every other thing are changing, it goes same for food. Now sometimes couple will tell you, I want a 5-course, I want a 7-course, 10-course, and then they add traditional food, they add finger food, and all of that. So it is your duty as an event planner to ensure you provide all. Some of us run a 360, companies where one company can provide virtually every item
up to Ashwebi and souvenir.
Yes, required for that job. That helps to control, and then you're sure of the quality. But aside that, we also work with caterers. For my company, we have some signed caterers. People we've used over and over again. You are sure of, the quality of food they will provide. So when you are not able, internally to provide all that the couple require or asks for.
But tell us about what can be challenging in this day, because we know we still have amala, we still have semo, then we have jollof fries. But tell us about finger foods, about 5-course meals, 7-course meal. Tell us, what can one look at as a challenging aspect in terms of catering? But of course, we know challenges are meant to be surmounted.
It's part of it, really, but you need to work hard. Okay, so one of the challenges is where you see a couple, they just come up with one local food that you've never heard of before. They will say, I need this to be part of the meal. So your duty as the event planner is to go all the way to make research on that particular food and ensure that it is provided. So maybe you can start with doing a test run, and then you present for them to be sure that that is exactly what you asked for. So that is just a few the challenges you can see when you're handling catering. Now it doesn't end on just 5-course meal. They will ask you, I want a full cow, barbecue, I want a aso, I want finger food, and all of that. So your duty is to coordinate all, no matter the number.
Does where you are locationed determine the kind of meals that are served?
Oh yeah.
Because these days we hear in Lagos, some actually have fish and ijebu gari at a wedding reception.
Yes.
Or traditional wedding.
Yes.
Agege bread.
Yes.
Is it that they are no longer available in the open market?
No, it just boils down to that local food I talked about, because some people, they will tell you, oh, we eat rice every day. So now, the couple wedding, the way we do it now, we have continental area, so we set up local dishes. So when you come to these local dishes, it forms a village of every kind of food. So if you want to do smoked gari and panla fish, in Lagos, you have it available. If you want to do bread and ewagoin, that's actually what we call it. So you have it available. But like I said, it depends on what the couple wants.
So they have to know what they want.
Exactly.
We know that sometimes people will have great ideas, innovative, interesting, exciting, but as they begin to make grounds and tracks with the event planner, they may find that what they have saved or what they have at hand may not be able to go the distance or bring to the fore the interesting dimensions they want to cover at their ceremony. What happens then?
Okay,
do you change course?
No, in that case, what we do is always to guide the couple. Even by the couple knowing what he wants, sometimes we look at it, if it is, above the budget, we say, okay, why not let's cut this down to still achieve that same objective the couple wants to achieve. Let me say, for instance, you have a million naira and you want to use that for food, and you've listed a lot of meals. And then we're going to host about 1,000 persons. Instead of us to say, okay, give us continental, for which is more expensive, for 600 persons, we can decide to cut it down to 400.
Okay.
You understand? So we now share the remaining cost into the remaining 600.
Okay.
So sometimes you will still get the class of those meals that you want. So that is when an event manager comes in to advise.
Interesting. Yes. We also know, like for us that attend events now and again, there are times where you sit down, the food is plenty, lots of delicacies and all of that, and you don't get served. When we're doing this 360 style, what are the ushers looking out for? Is it only those who are wearing ashwebi?
No.
Are they not asked to serve everyone?
Okay, okay, then I say that it depends on the event company handling it, like I said.
But you don't do that?
No, we don't do that, because what we do is if we have 100 table, we ensure that we have ushers tied to each table. If we have 10 ushers, one usher ensure that everybody within our 10 tables gets served. So it's actually not the usher's duty to serve, it is the waiter's duty. The ushers are just to direct.
Do you get in the waiters as well?
Oh yeah, they come, because sometimes
so you are still the work with you.
Get waiters, so you give them the number of waiters you need depending on the number of guests you're expecting. So you should know as an event planner how many waiters should be able to cover the total number of guests you're expecting and how many people one waiter should serve. So ushers are basically to guide and then direct waiters to serve and ensure that everybody within her
and there's no partiality whether they are wearing the most expensive ashwabi.
Not at all. Wearing ashwabi or not is actually not supposed to come to place.
At all. I used to wonder whether does the person having the wedding tell the waiters or ushers not to serve some people because they don't get ashwabi. I've attended several events where we had to keep alerting them to our presence that you have walked past this table quite a number of times.
You're saying something. Sometimes I think part of the factors
your
is
final
that
words.
Some of the people, assuming when we have a table of 10 chairs, and then we had 6 or 7 persons at that table when they start serving. So the other 3 will come in later, and then it will turn out that the table had been served. Okay. So what the usher will need to do is take the numbers of people served during that time. So you have 3 left on this table, so you need to go back to it. But my final words to the event planning and weddings and couples that are going to wed is that you can actually achieve your dream wedding within your budget.
Which is key. Let's leave it there. Thank you very much, Mr. Maka John Okoro, corporate and social events planner. Indeed, you have opened doors for us that we find very interesting, and we're all the better for it. Cut your code according to your cloth. As we go to Benin now, you know that on her special day, every bride, you do know that, Mr. Okoro, they want to look their best.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so we're going to Benin now. Bridal makeup. What level of artistry is brought to the fore? Let's see.
Okay.
The wedding ceremony is one of the most popular of the Edo cultural celebrations. In Benin, this tradition is just one of the wealthiest. From the beaded crown to the beaded neck ornament, to the beaded bangles and more, everything about Benin weddings depicts nothing less than royalty.
We Benin's, the blood of royalty flows in our veins. Our traditional marriage is very rich and is very important and necessary that every girl child should go through.
Simple and uncomplicated back in the days, Edo weddings have assumed a carnival status.
So everybody wants to copy, wants to upgrade, wants to do what is recent and all that.
This is their time. So it is what comes around this time. You don't expect the marriage of my son or daughter to be the same as the marriage I did with my wife.
There's this hairstyle that we call donut those days. Just go to the salon, they will just do it, put it like donut, just garnish it with beads. So long as you garnish it with beads, you are good to go. But these days, you come and see different kinds of bronze, different designs.
Taking it a notch higher is the introduction of expert makeup for the bride especially.
I'm not blending scatter like scissors. Here now is going this way. See it from here. I'm blending up.
See that makeup thing, you people should be reducing it, because you will see bride, when bride will be coming, after dressing, you won't even recognize the person anymore. Contour, the leg now will now be curved. They will just look different from who we are giving out.
There is disparity in time. So whatever is happening, what's in vogue at the time is what the people will follow. So whether they are involving makeup artists, some people went to school to study makeup designs and all that. So let them have some food to eat.
Another twist is the new popular pre-wedding photo shoot and detailed planning of the wedding event, particularly when the elites are involved.
And the brand plan should be able to tell you, oh, what you have as your budget cannot run all high-profile event vendors. Maybe we can use moderate event vendors, but yet you still get what you have in mind.
There are still some parents who don't even like that pre-wedding stuff. Sometimes you just use that to narrate yourself. Sometimes you sell out your wedding beautiful costume that you're supposed to showcase on your wedding day.
No doubt, weddings have become an astonishing form of merchandise.
That first outfit that you have to wear, your hair, okuku on your hair, like in Benin traditional wedding. I have a vendor that takes nothing less than 1 million to make the outfits, the clothes. 1 million, 1.3. But I also have vendors that can make that outfit for 700. I also have vendors that can make it for 300.
To say the least, vendors are not in a hurry to give up the lucrative business, which is fast churning into a career.
The wedding industry in Nigeria is gaining prominence, lots of introductions. Many things have been added such that we have an event planner, we have corporate and social. They set the tone for so many exciting things that happen. We have vendors, a Shwebi vendor, you have the makeup artist, it's a whole train of events. And in these days, couples who want to get married in that unique, special, exciting, sophisticated way need to be loaded. Let me put it that way. But we get to learn more of how to be more practical as we talk with Mrs. Deborah Life Ayegbeni. She's the founder, Integrity Royal Women International.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you with us.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
We're talking about the wedding industry in Nigeria, and we have seen interesting pictures, wonderful looking couples, exciting ideas and innovations. And we even went to Lagos and heard that there's no small wedding in Lagos. We even heard that weddings now, you can go traditional, you can go continental, a la carte is there. It could be a 7-course, it could be a 10-course. Bring the money, we can do it for you. Where do we stand with that in these days?
Okay, if the people can afford it, that's fine. But if we can't afford it, you shouldn't put yourself under pressure. Because what matters most in wedding is life after the wedding ceremony.
The marriage itself.
The marriage itself. Because it is a lifetime thing. Two people coming together to commit themselves, to commit their life together to themselves in the presence of families and friends, to live together. And so you have to plan more for the marriage itself, for the home, not just for the ceremony. So if you can afford it, yes, like in Lagos now you mentioned, everybody is competition. everyone, oh, my friend did spend 30 million naira, or even in dollars now, because it is a $1 billion industry. So there's competition. So if they can afford it, good. But one thing is that there will always be a wedding that will outstand the other. Tomorrow you see somebody spending $60 million. $60 million. It's possible. It's possible they can lavish it.
It is happening. Especially for destination weddings.
Yeah.
Where we come to learn that even when celebrities get married, they make money from the ceremony. Perhaps they set up NGOs with the resource. But tell us about what happens where couples feel obliged to get money from anywhere possible to hold weddings that will be the talk of the town. Because we know that is happening. There are those who have the money and are doing it with ease. There are those who need to be supported by banks and family and friends. And by the time the marriage actually starts, the groom or the couple is already wearing a very heavy financial burden.
It's very unwise if you don't have the money and you start looking around to loan. Taking loan for wedding is unwise. It's an unwise decision. And it will plug you into financial pressure and crisis. And so it's better you plan according to what you have or get support. You can set up a budget for your wedding, know what you have, and the areas that if you want, it doesn't have to be very loud, extravagant to be grand. It doesn't have to be that. It can be simple and be grand. It depends on how you plan it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think perhaps this simplicity is not cutting the high level of sophistication that some people want at this point. We're listening to you. We're chatting with you. We're not done. Let's go to Enugu, the eastern part of Nigeria, where the talk is about the dowry, perhaps the process. You can't just see a woman and say, I want to marry. You don't pick her off the streets. Like we asked last week, whose family are you? From which clan do you come from? Let's go to Enugu. Let's talk about the dowry.
God the Son,
God the Son,
and God the Holy Spirit.
and God the Holy Spirit.
Everybody join us and say, Amen.
It's your love, Lord, it's your goodness. Your ministry upon Calvary.
Our people revere marriage. They respect this institution. You don't just say you saw a woman and you want to get married. Even if you see a woman and you like to marry her, it is not as simple as that. Because marriage is a union between two kinship sides. As a result of which, when this marriage is going to be contracted, the two sides must not only be aware, but be properly informed. The man will actually go there with kola nut, most importantly, and some elders.
This is the dream of every woman.
Today, I would like to announce to you that I'm now a Miss.
In Igbo land, Southeast Nigeria, the fundamental and highly esteemed of all marriage rites is the traditional marriage ceremony known as Ibanko.
People were mad. They go Sunday, you might have on Kahamaroye, Budi.
lot of people perceive Igbo marriage as being very expensive. But then down here in the East, I doubt if it is so. It is because of the value that we place on human being. It is a celebration of humanity.
In men's side, in some places in Igbo land, it affects them in the sense that it scares them away because of the huge requirements from the in-laws.
Igbo marriage is quite expensive, like for some communities, I guess. Some families, not generally.
If bride price is not contracted, there is no marriage in Igbo land. But the issue of people skyrocketing bride price is antithetical to Igbo culture. What they accept, what our custom allows, is that you can bring several kegs of palm wine because it's going to be fully celebrated by the two kinship sides and friends outside. Some even come from outside Igbo race to come and witness the marriage ceremony.
I'll do my best to be a great wife and sister to the new family.
Igbaoko becoming one. That is so key. Beyond all the fanfare, the pomp, and the pedantry, a man and a woman from different backgrounds are starting their life together. And our role there, beyond coming to eat and drink with them, is to ensure that that union stands the test of a lifetime. Before the break, before we saw that feature, I was having a conversation with Mrs. Deborah Life Alegbemi. She's the founder of Integrity Royal Women International. She has first-hand knowledge. She's hands-on, coming in contact with many young women who have not yet married, many who are already married, and they share their experiences with her. But before they're telling me about your younger brother getting married at some time, did he have to pay dowry?
Yes, we did. The dowry is little, but the appendages, what accompanied the dowry, is too demanding. To the extent that my mom had to say, no, let's be going, let's leave them. We had different faces from morning till evening of the parlor one, outside one with the men in the east. And so it's too demanding.
And it all in, okay, you mean financially demanding, sorry,
yes,
you mean stress.
Yes, financially and materially, because you have a list, the wedding list. The wedding list, they will go through it and tell you some things are missing and all of that.
But didn't your younger brother have an idea? Didn't he take, because I know what they do sometimes, they give him the list. So he already knows what he's setting out to do. Didn't he have the list or he misplaced it?
He has the list, all the list, everything was bought. But maybe they have another thing to add when we got there, because all what we saw in the list was bought. But they brought in another list and they sat and they were telling us that this is missing, that is missing, and so they start monetizing it.
Interesting.
And so we had to pay. But it wasn't very easy. But in fact...
But how did your brother feel?
Well, because he wanted his wife, so... whatsoever
he was ready.
He was ready.
So wherever they take me, I'm going to handle.
But that is, it is not encouraged.
It can be destabilizing.
It can be destabilizing.
If you don't have strong family support.
Exactly, it can be destabilizing.
So these appendages, we even heard about it from Kano, and they are telling us about the eastern part.
Yeah.
And perhaps it's even coming up in different parts of Nigeria. How do we go from the appendages, which is part of modern day weddings now, to what we say can be ideal, more realistic, and more comfortable for the couples?
What is more realistic is the planning beyond the wedding ceremony. If you have so much money, you can put it to buy a property, own your own house. If you have your own house, you can put that money to touch the lives of people, make impact in the society, because that's the reason why we are living, to make positive impact. So it's not just about spending and spending just for a ceremony that will last maybe like 6 hours or 7, but making a lifelong planning. More so, it is not about being married, it's about being stayed married.
Okay.
Being stayed married. So that is why attention should be put on How will these people live together? The couple should come together, cleave together, look on how they can work well together. And
they are cleaved now. They're already cleaved, strongly cleaved. You know, they are very cleaved. Perhaps are we talking about bringing some level of counseling to couples when they say they want to tie the nuptial knot? Beyond planning the wedding, where event planners take center stage, do we need to bring in some counseling, perhaps from within or without?
Yes, very.
But while you hold that thought and begin to ponder on it, we go to Maiduguri. We're still talking about Nigeria's wedding industry.
Nowadays, wedding ceremonies are evolving in peculiarity with business-oriented styles. What is the big deal associated with flamboyant or peasant forms of marriages?
Talking about Kanuri marriage, for example, the marriage is originally expensive because there are a lot of requirements at any stage of the marriage. When the suitor is going to gather the paraphernalia for the wedding, he has to work in phases. That is the one that they are saying fule yado. The fule yado means you saw the girl, you want to express interest of getting her hand in marriage. And for that reason, you have to go with some materials to express your interest and love and seriousness of having her as your wife. And when you come to the marriage proper, there are a lot of things that you are going to do that will fetch you a lot of money. You will buy dresses, wrappers, all the requirements of your wife. And as well, you will buy for the mother, you will buy for the aunties, you will buy for the sisters. In fact, you have to buy for each and every member of the family. It is sometimes considered that the girls are expensive. They are being trained, they went to school, they graduated. Their parents have spent a lot of money on them, and they don't want to give them just like that, like a takeaway free. So you have to suffer as a man to pay some certain amounts that will warrant to equalize the status and standard of that girl that you are going to marry.
The marriage in those days was that it is either your friend, your associate, or your brother. You will give your daughter, who is very small, to his son even before she grows up. You will say, so and so, I give my daughter to your son, so and so. When they grow up, we'll get them married. So that girl has become no-go area.
Be it tradition or contemporary state of the art and culture weddings, people are losing the graphics of typical and age-long norms. Original ritualistic and customary styles of marriages have lost their values.
Kanuri night is exclusively an alien thing altogether. It always happens even among the elites. The normal Kanuri person, the average Kanuri person, doesn't know anything about the wedding party or the dinner and all what have you. This is alien. It sounds so alien because in the Kanuri tradition, the mother doesn't have to go out and be exposing herself to other strangers and other people to be seeing her. She has to stay indoors and welcome her visitors, welcome her family friends, and everybody that is coming to her as a well-wisher for taking her girl out in marriage. The actual traditional wushe that the Kanuri tradition do is unlike the one that is being done today again. In those days, the groom's family will go to the bride's family. The wushe means they are saluting them, or rather greeting them for the activities that they have been doing since, you know, it carries a lot of energy, a lot of time, a lot of resources.
So the groom's family will go down to the bride's family to say, well done, wishe, wishe.
All these spendings, bringing in media, this you have to bring this, you have to bring that, you have to pay this, came because of talauchi, what do you call it? You see, people became poor. They have no means of sustenance. It is as if they want to sell the girl. If your daughter is beautiful, and then now somebody wants to marry her, then now it is opportunity for you, your wives, your relations, the girls' aunts, nieces, everybody will sack the husband. You want to marry our daughter, you have to get clothes for the bowers, you have to get clothes for the in-laws, you have to get clothes for the grandmothers, you have to get this for that, you have to give the mother this, you have to produce money for water, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do that. All this money you are spending are not part of the marriage.
As we cherish a cross-cultural development in our society, we need to refrain from extravagances and competitive lure of overspending in the work of socio-economic reality of time.
Tradition and modern day unions. Madam, wrap it up for us.
Okay, like we've seen, two friends agreeing that their children will marry themselves in the future. I don't know if they have made that known to their children where they were growing, because if that is what they want, they should make it known. But this kind of agreement has its advantage and disadvantages, because you don't know if they can complement themselves. And like he said it will cut down costs and all of that because of the level of their friendship. It is a good one, depending on if they are aware. To be forewarned is to be
armed and ready.
Exactly. So I want to encourage parents to help their children, because we keep training them till we leave this world. Parenting is a lifetime job. So we keep talking to them, advising them, because we know better than them, and encourage them to marry those whom they love well. Because love here, the love in marriage is a choice. It just goes beyond the love, is a choice. Because you are ready to stick with that choice to the end.
Till the end. Let's rest it there. Let's make it a wrap there. Till the end. Make your choice, but you stay till the end. We want to thank you so very much, Mrs. Deborah Legbemi, founder, Integrity Royal Women International. It's been great learning from and with you. Bespoke outfits are all the trend. It's a good one. Destination weddings, even better. Little matter what you have, you can have a great wedding, but it's important to cut your coat according to your material or your cloth. Weddings are interesting. We all love to attend and be a part of the celebration and wish the couples well. Tomorrow is another day. Join us again. We continue to talk about the thriving industry, the Nigeria's wedding industry. We'll see you again. From all of us here, bye-bye. God bless Nigeria.